Cheers. Did you just buy a comic or a manga or art book maybe, and turns out the files that you can download are only available as PDFs and you just want to change them into CBZ files so you can read them with software like CDisplay? Yeah, that's the tutorial for you right here. After I did the tutorial for the EPUB files, turning those into CBZ files, which was relatively fast and simple, I thought why not also make it for PDFs. So I have done this tutorial for the two most common file types in bundles like this Mass Effect comics and art book bundle from Fanatical, or bundles on Humble Bundle. But on top of that, there are other reasons why you might want to change PDFs into CBZ files, and one of the reasons is that sometimes the officially provided CBZ files in bundles that do offer CBZ files, they sometimes just suck ass. Like here, for example. On the left side, this is the officially supplied comic as a CBZ from a World of Warcraft comic and book bundle from Humble Bundle. That's the official version. That's the converted version from the supplied PDFs from the same bundle. Right, and as you can see, color-wise, it's a completely different story, way more details. I have no clue if that comes across on YouTube. I think especially the artifacts around any kind of outline will probably not stand out as much, but I can tell you as much, it does not look even remotely close. But the biggest problem here is the text. As you can see, just in terms of text, here it's just, every letter is just a blob of seemingly black ink, and especially if you zoom out, it is really hard to read. It is really not nice. Here, in the converted version, no problem whatsoever. So that might be another big reason why you might want to convert a PDF file into a CBZ file instead of just downloading a CBZ file. Now, how do we do this? Well, it is relatively simple actually, because what we want to do is we want to turn these PDFs into a folder full of images. Because technically CBZ files are just compressed, zipped folders full of images. So how do we turn PDFs into pictures? We use tools like, for example, PDF24, or we can also use something like PDFG. I think most PDF tools have that option to turn PDF into JPEGs. Right? I personally like to use PDF24 for one reason that I will show you in a second. And what we basically want to do is we just take the files that we want to convert. We can also convert multiple files at once. And we just drop them in here. Then they get loaded in. Then we choose the format down here, JPEG. And you now two things. That's the reason why I like PDF24, because you can choose the image quality. And I personally would recommend 95. Do not go to 100%. You can even just go for 99%. The difference between 100 and 95% is basically not visible. You will not see it. One of these two is 95, the other is 100%. If you're telling me, dude, I can't see a difference, yes, me neither, right? And that without the YouTube compression. Where you will see a difference, though, is in terms of file size. So I have two files here. One is the one with 100%, the other is with 95%. The difference is, if you look at the file size right here, the 100% is 174 megabytes, while 95% is just 92.8 megabytes. So you're saving almost half of the size of this file with barely any really noticeable difference right here. So just use 95%. Another thing when it comes to image quality is DPI. If you have something like an art book, for example, that you want to convert, and you know already that you need to zoom in on these arts to see the details and stuff, You might want to increase the DPI, like just double it to 300 if you want. In most cases, 150 is absolutely fine. But yeah, just play around with that number a little bit. That will give you more details when you zoom in. And of course, the file will be bigger, right? But beyond that, that's basically what you can do right here. Then, well, we click on convert, right? And now it will just run through all, or 4 comics in my case here. And you will see that it will convert the pages one after another. And you just wait. That will take some time, though. So depending on how fast your machine is, your PC, yeah, you might get yourself a coffee or watch a YouTube video in the meantime or whatever, right? So I will just wait and we will see us in a second when I will show you the rest of the process. So my image files have successfully converted. What we are now going to do is, you actually see all of these pictures down here, right? These are like literally each volume has like 180 something pictures in them. We just click save, then we go for the folder that we want to save it in, and then just saves these files in here. What we now need to do is we need to right click them and compress to zip file. Different to the method in the EPUB conversion thing, I don't know a method on how to mass convert these folders. So yeah, in that case, we really just have to go through each of these files, of these folders, and pack them up, zip them up into a zip file, right? And what we now have to do, now we basically come back to the tutorial with the CBZ files, because the only thing that we now have to do is we need to go into the zip file and we change the file extension again. And ta-da, we have a CBZ file. Again, same in the EPUB file. If you cannot see these file extensions, these dot and then 3 or 4 letters, you go in your Explorer under View, Show, and File Name Extensions. Make sure that the check mark is here. And we can now do the same method as we used in the EPUB to mass convert those zip files to CBZ files. Again, the method is basically the same. You go into the navigation bar, you type in CMD, you hit enter, you make sure that this location is correct, like it's the same, and then you type in ren for rename, spacebar, asterisk, the file extension that we want to change, in our case zip, dot zip, the dot is important, then the asterisk again, and then the file extension that we want to change it to, in our case CBZ. You can just press enter then, and yeah, as you can see, all of the zip files are now turned into CBZ files. Isn't that great? It should be those, I think. Right, and now if you want, can rename them or whatever, because this .pdf in here, that's just a remnant of the conversion process, so you can just rename it, keep the CBZ at the end, and that way you have high quality CBZ comics right in here. Right, let's just check up again how shit is looking, and text is still very well readable, the quality is there, no weird artifacts on the edges. That's how we want it, and that's the tutorial how you turn PDF files into CBZ files. I hope I could help, and I wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.